Throughout history, there have been blood feuds that have defined world events and even entire eras in time. The Montagues and the Capulets, the Americans and the British, the Celtics and the Lakers, the Red Sox and the Yankees, the Auburn Tigers and the Alabama Crimson Tide, chess and checkers, they all pale in comparison to the topic of today's video. You see, war is no longer just between people. Who cares about people? No, war is no longer between people or nations. War is between corporations. Nothing, and I mean nothing, can satiate the hunger that is felt by a megacorporation to earn more billions of dollars. And unfortunately, sometimes they have to wage brutal, vicious war on one another. It's sad, really, but we have to address it. Our good friends over at T-Mobile and AT&T are currently embroiled in a brutal, vicious, all-out war against one another. Why? Well, they would like more money than they currently have, which is already a lot. And that is a big deal. And that is why they are throwing these haymakers at each other, I tell you. It's what we got to get into today. It's impactful stuff. You watch TV. You know that these companies have tried everything, whether it's ex-Saturday Night Live cast members slapping their name on a major league ballpark, or even slapping their name on the title of a league that was called the Sprint Cup Series at one point, is what I'm getting at. Editor's note, they also sponsor Dancing with the Stars now, so they really have tried everything. Whitney Levitt deserved to win. They have tried everything, but there is just no edge to be found, at least not until the year of our Lord, 2025. These companies have zeroed in on a very specific market. It's no longer about appealing to everyone. They have found the edge, and they are competing to take a hold of that market and thus take a hold of the market as a whole. But the fight for supremacy has reached a new tipping point. And boys, let me tell you, this thing is getting ready to boil over. It might already have. BBT, Billy Bob Thornton, the landman himself. For those who don't know, Billy Bob is one of the most sought-after names in the cool old white dude market. I mean, he's got it all. He's got the accent. He's got the charm. He's got the stubble. He's got the accent. I mean, the guy wears ball caps occasionally, and he plays a cowboy on television. Let me tell you, the guys over at T-Mobile, they took inspiration from the park that they named after themselves, the baseball stadium, T-Mobile Park. They hit a home run with this one. T-Mobile was ready to stake its claim as not one of the three major cell phone providers, the major cell phone provider in the good old US of A.
For years, everyone thought Verizon had the best network, because they did. But now the best mobile network in the US is T-Mobile. Some fancy experts finished a network test, and T-Mobile sort of opened a can of whoop-up. T-Mobile's network has the most advanced 5G, with more towers, and their signal reaches further than ever. So you can text and Insta-talk and say, "You won't believe where I am." Seriously, where am I? Hey, I got signal.
These are my socks, because they have been knocked right off. Booyah!
6-7.
Booyah! T-Mobile for the freaking epic win, dude! Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. When companies like this, when our fine folks over at T-Mobile, our good friends, our good buddies, our good pals over at T-Mobile, they decide that they want to pander to a very specific audience, but also at the same time talk down to them. Ugh, I mean, they clearly could not view the older Southerner as being less intelligent, right? It's awesome. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, who needs to do their own research? And quite frankly, who needs to sell your product? The fancy experts already did, right? I'm just a simple Southern man. I wouldn't know anything about anything, actually. I mean, sure, when you like look into the data and do your own research, you can see that among the big three providers, there's significant pros and cons to all three, and it's actually really dependent on just where you are and what your needs are for which you should go with. But dude, the fancy experts, they figured it out for us. Come on, man. I mean, I saw this, I was beside myself. I mean, they really did just open a can of whoop up, because that's something that people say. I mean, this is unprecedented. This is unprecedented. And quite frankly, I think T-Mobile's done it. They are not just the biggest mobile provider in the world. That's right, not even the USA anymore, the world. No. They are clearly the best. Why? Again, I can't stress this enough. The fancy experts said so. If you're a company, you could just make an ad that explains why your product is good, but who needs that when we got my man Bill opening up cans of whoop up? AT&T sat. They fumed. How could they let this happen? They knew it was a market they needed to corner. They knew they needed a Billy Bob. We all need a Billy Bob. How could you ever recover? How could you answer? How do you go on? And they were asking themselves those same questions when their knight in shining armor rode in from the west in the form of the second most famous member of the Wilson family, the guy from Legally Blonde himself, Luke Wilson, but older now.
AT&T's been carrying America's calls since 1876. When you've been around that long, you can spot a hustle coming from a mile away. T-Mobile is the master of breaking promises. While T-Mobile stays caught up in untruths, AT&T keeps building what matters, America's most reliable network. Right, Graham? When you compare, there's no comparison. Plain talk, strong signal, nothing better.
I mean, they got a dog and everything, man. They got a dog and everything. I'm shocked. My world is... just give me a minute. T-Mobile? Deceptive? Billy Bob? Billy Bob's deceptive? But they have the ballpark. You know what? I'm withdrawing my support. I was really on board. I've got chills even saying this. I was really on board with what those guys were doing over there. And I trusted Billy Bob, like we all did. But shady business practices? I won't stand for that. I just won't. And if there's one thing I know, that's that the actual fine folks over at AT&T would never engage in such activity. Except for the fact that they almost exclusively engage in that kind of activity, and like a lot of their tactics as far as like sales and advertising, they're like purposefully deceptive. Aside from that, you know, that's different. The old lady at the Sam's Club needed fiber internet. It was my duty to sell it to her. I mean, T-Mobile, the breaking promises, AT&T, they wouldn't do that. They just wouldn't do that. So I don't know what to think. I've got to take some time to think, pray about this. Listen, at this stage, T-Mobile was clearly reeling. AT&T just landed an absolute, one of these. They landed one of those right to the freaking jugular, man. The general consensus around T-Mobile was that they were down and out for the count. Some even speculated that they'd surrendered. Zoe Saldana once again took the mantle as clearly the lead spokesperson, and it seemed as though in bitter defeat, Billy Bob Thornton had ridden off into the sunset.
So I got this friend who said he used to be on T-Mobile, but their network kind of sucked. His words. A lot of things used to suck, like cell phones the size of frozen lasagnas. But things change. Now T-Mobile has the best network, by like a lot. But I'm just another guy in an ad saying the same thing, only first and true. Check out T-Mobile and experience what it means to have America's best network. Hey dude, you won't believe where I am.
They did it. The bastards really did it. Oh man, we will talk about this one forever. When all hope was lost, I'm gonna get emotional. This is powerful. When all hope was lost, they rallied the troops. They pulled themselves up by their bootstraps, just like Billy Bob Thornton would. And those guys and girls over in the T-Mobile marketing department fought tooth and nail on behalf of one of the 3 biggest mobile providers in the country. You know, honestly, looking back at all this, I think there's a really important lesson for us to learn as Americans. So I'm really glad I did this research and I've had this sort of awakening, because I really do think this is going to change the trajectory of my life. So just, if you'll humor me for a second, this is just what I believe. No matter who you are or where you are, you, not Fred down the street, no, not your rich boss, you have the right not just to represent a brand, but to become a brand. Now go be like our forefathers before us. No, not the founding fathers, the actual forefathers. Jake from State Farm, Flo from Progressive, the Can You Hear Me Now guy that Sprint used to use, the Wendy's Twitter account back in like 2016. Be like our guy Billy Bob. Be a billboard. And who knows, with a lot of hard work, and again, completely selling your soul, you too might get to appear on the Manning Cast. Thanks for watching.